Welcome back, guys, for our second best of 3 of the day. It's StarLadder I-League Invitational Season 5 China Qualifier, and we are here in our last quarterfinal matchup. It's EHOME versus LGD. LGD just coming off the back of a win in their Epicenter XL Qualifier match. They 2-0'd VTJ Thunder. That is part of the reason why we have a little bit of a delayed start to this match, because the Qualifier craziness just does not end. So let's get straight into it. We've got Chen, the Beastmaster, and the Tusk being banned on the EHOME side, Enchantress, Death Prophet, and Bounty being removed. I don't think we've seen Bounty make it through in a single draft so far today. I don't think any of the 3 games of the previous series, Rock versus LGD FY, the Bounty Hunter made it through, but LGD going to be opening up with the Naga Siren first. Let's actually have a quick look at those drafts from their series against VTJ Thunder. So it was actually VTJ Thunder who picked the Naga both times in that series, but they're going to get their hands on it here. Omni-Knight makes it through. That was a first pick for them in their first game. I do think LGD Gaming probably favored a little bit overall in this series. EHOME, not really that many notable performances recently, but going to see some more trendy China heroes here as the Nature's Prophet continues to be very popular, and EHOME just going to grab themselves to Rubik early on. Rubik does seem quite a bit better against Naga Siren now than he used to be with the smaller AoE on Song of the Siren. It's actually a little bit easier to steal and potentially use offensively or use defensively for your team against the Naga Siren, which is definitely nice to have as an option. And Rubik seems to be, reasonably popular at the moment in general. I don't know if EHOME are actually playing with a stand-in. Let's have a quick look here. I think this is a player from Keen, but I think he may actually be on their roster now anyway. They may just not have updated their in-game team. Yeah, it looks like that might be the case. So he was this guy's currently playing for EHOME. He was previously on Keen Gaming. Looks like they just haven't updated their in-game team. So full 5-man roster for both sides. LGD now thinking a little bit, using some of their reserve time, deciding exactly what they want to be grabbing. Maybe thinking about the Omni-Knight. Do they really want to be picking the Omni-Knight into Rubik? It's not that hard of a counter, but it is just some really nice steals for Rubik to be able to get his hands on.
Radiant team back.
Witch Doctor.
So instead, they go for the Witch Doctor. Fairly good at fighting off the Nature's Prophet Treants in the early game. I think decent against the Nature's Prophet for that reason. Quite good against Rubik. Most of Witch Doctor's spells are fairly mediocre for Rubik to steal, or just difficult to get his hands on. Witch Doctor can always just toggle heal on and off and just give you that instead of anything useful. So a little bit difficult for Rubik to play against. We've seen Witch Doctor be very popular recently. His base damage is quite high. He's a good zoning support. People have been really favoring the Maledict build a lot, and it seems to be putting in quite a lot of work. People loving that +1 Maledict tick talent as well. That's been very popular, but alright.
10 seconds remaining.
Got Shadow Fiend being banned. Both teams keeping their drafts fairly open right now. That Omni-Knight will eventually be banned out by LGD. Not willing to let that through into the pool. What else is still there? There's still a Razor, but that hasn't been that popular in China from what I've seen so far. Tidehunter, interestingly enough, is the ban. EHOME a little bit worried about that teamfight potential over on the LGD side. They don't really have that much to combo with the Naga just yet. I mean, the Shadow Fiend would have been decent, being able to get a Requiem Bomb on a sleeping target. Not always the easiest thing to time, but can definitely be quite potent. And I can imagine that LGD would be able to pull that kind of thing off.
Radiant team pick.
So what else can they do? I mean, Witch Doctor's not exactly the best combo support. They could have taken the Disruptor if they wanted it, but LGD deciding that they wanted the Witch Doctor instead. It does have pretty nice synergy with the Naga Siren. These two supports can move around and quite easily kill cores. Just a net Riptide, Maledict, Death Ward will kill most cores at most points of the game, unless you have the right items to be able to get yourself out of there. So I like this quite a bit. It allows them to contest the lanes quite heavily, and it means that EHOME can't really run at their safe lane too much, which I think is something that can happen if you pick like Naga plus Disruptor. It's kind of what we saw happen in that first game of the LGD FY versus Rock
LGD's
series. They just
turn to pick.
couldn't do enough in the lanes with that support combination. So EHOME going to grab themselves the Tiny. He's been very popular as of late in pretty much every region. Looks like he might be played. I'm not actually sure just yet. I guess it depends on how this Nature's Prophet is going to
10
be
seconds
laned.
remaining.
But maybe position for Prophet,
5 seconds
potentially
remaining.
offlane Tiny. I think I actually like offlane Tiny more than I like Tiny in any other role at the moment. It feels like if you put him safe lane, I don't think he really has enough late game scaling potential to justify it. It can kind of work if you've got the
Radiant
right mid
team
hero, but I think in general, more of a fan of the offlane Tiny. You still get a pretty timely blink, you still have a decent impact, but I think it suits him a bit more as being, as more of a utility with some damage as compared to being this really big scaling core with a bunch of
10
farm.
seconds remaining.
You want to be active on your Tiny. You don't want to be just sitting back and hitting creeps. You're never
5
really going to
seconds
be that
remaining.
late game insurance policy for your team. But Batrider grabbed for LGD. Fairly difficult for EHOME to deal with. Pretty good against the Nature's Prophet. I think decent against Rubik, though you do have to be careful of that
turn to
instant
pick.
lift. And EHOME just going to grab themselves a Jug. A little bit interesting to see the Jug picked up here. I think the LGD lineup is actually
Radiant
reasonably good
team back.
against Juggernaut. Like, they don't really have to... They've got quite a lot of summons now, like quite a lot of illusions to help deal with the Omni Slash, which is always useful. And then they've got 2 BKB piercing, or 2 magic immunity piercing disables. So the Jug
10
can't really
seconds
split push
remaining.
as freely as he otherwise might be able to. Because what can happen with
5
Jug, and I
seconds
think the way that he
remaining.
really gets out of control, is when he's able to pressure the lanes without ever having to worry about dying. Like if spin TP is just a 100% free escape no matter what, then it makes it makes it really easy for Jug to play and just get tons of farm. And of course, never dying is always going to increase your farm rate by quite a lot. But on the other hand, in this game, I think they can actually kind of deal with them. And I like this Terrorblade pick from LGD. They've got good lockdown, good ways to kind of let the Terrorblade do his thing and just stand there and right click. And EHOME don't really have the best AoE clear for him at the moment, or even the best single target lockdown. The Tiny will be able to hunt him a bit early on. I could see if the Tiny's having a good game, maybe he gets 1 or 2 kills on the Terrorblade before the Terrorblade tanks up too much, but past a certain point that Avatos combo isn't gonna full to nothing him, and then he quite easily gets a Sunder off somewhere. So yeah, definitely favoring the LGD draft right now.
LGD's
They are
turn
just
to
looking
ban.
for their mid hero. Quap gonna get banned out. EHOME might also be looking for their mid. Again, depends on what their plan is with this Nature's Prophet, but I think we've seen it actually more in the support role than we've seen it in any other
10
role
seconds remaining.
recently. So I'm leaning towards support Prophet, and
5
then they're
seconds
still going to be
remaining.
going for a mid pickup. I don't know exactly what that would be. Maybe they consider picking up like a Tinker and just being super annoying with the split push, but and it is a decent Terrorblade counter in a sense. Maybe if you're LGD, you just like safety ban it. You're like, yeah, whatever. Even though we have Bat and Naga, we just don't want to deal with it. They're thinking about it. Taking some time out. What else would be annoying? I mean, there's like a Zeus. I wouldn't mind seeing a Zeus game. I always want to see Zeus, but he's just not quite strong
turn
enough,
to
unfortunately. And it will actually be the Broodmother ban. Interesting. I think they're just kind of talking through how EHOME might choose to set their lanes and whatnot. So now what for LGD? If they really wanted to, they could just pick like Puck. But nope. All right, just gonna be a Viper. A little bit more boring, fairly tanky hero. Just go and sit in the front lines, buy a Dominator, have an extra creep, have some more stuff there to be able to soak Omni Slash bounces. Everybody can just kind of stack on top of each other and be
10
a-okay.
seconds remaining.
And fairly good against these
5
melee
seconds
cores.
remaining.
Get a Viper Strike on either the Jug or the Tiny, and really hurts their damage output a lot in fights. I think that Tinker is definitely an option here for EHOME. I mean, they have to shuffle their lanes in a kind of weird way, and maybe that means they won't be able to contest the off lane in the way that they're hoping. But I think Nature's Prophet plus Tiny can do all right down there, and then
Dragon Knight.
go from there. But no, okay, just gonna be the Dragon Knight. So it is a support Tiny, I believe. Let's have a look here. Just gonna make sure I'm not goofing this. Oh no, so it's offlane Tiny, yeah, Faith Beyond Tiny. Innocence is gonna be playing the Rubik. Got a position for Prophet. I don't mind the Dragon Knight terribly against the Terrorblade. Like, the Breathe Fire damage reduction is pretty helpful. He's quite tanky. You do have some AoE clear a little bit later on with the splash damage. DK kind of never feels like a truly terrible pick, though a bit weird to pick it into the Viper, because the armor may actually not be as helpful as you would like it to be in this game. Viper with the Nether Toxin, of course, has Break. Going to be very handy, and we will have a quick pause right at the start. Why not?
Are you ready to rumble? Admirable.
Alright, nice. We're going to get straight into it. So, this is game 1. Best of 3 series.
Nice.
Winner advances to play against Rock. Losers out. Single elimination qualifier here, folks. So definitely a very important series for these two teams. Got their sights set on that StarLadder LAN. And what are LGD up to here? Are they going to go aggro? Or they're trying to dodge something? The Terrorblade is also like quite a decent laner against the Nature's Prophet, though. Again, I don't think the Nature's Prophet is really going to be committed to any one lane. It's just going to be bouncing around. He's got his Orb of Venom already picked up. But no, looks like they are maybe keen to come down here and contest this a little bit, or at least have the Witch Doctor plus the Terrorblade down here. And they are going to leave Faith Beyond, or they're going to leave Chalice to 1v1 up against the Tiny, which seems pretty good, to be honest. FY also going to be coming in here to help out. Trian's doing a little bit of scouting, might realize what's going on. I don't know if they've seen Chalice just yet. There's some pinging happening from the Dragon Knight, I think. Are LGD going to get 3 bounties? Just depends on whether or not EHOME are going to man up and come in here. HYM even able to grab some Boots of Speed first up here. The Prophet doesn't actually have any regen at all. He's got 2 Clarities and an Orb of Venom, and that's it. Which is definitely a little bit out of the ordinary. FY with a Stout Shield. Still not going to try and contest this unless there's going to be 2 bounties apiece. Who will get the better block on the mid lane? Will it be Maybe? Or will it be the stand-in? I think his name like translates to fluorescent or glimmer. Ying. Probably not getting the pronunciation on that right at all, but alright, they are rotating the lanes on the EHOME side. They're going to be putting their tri-lane up aggressively into the Batrider. Nagasiren has a decision to make as to where exactly FY is going to choose to spend his time in the early stages, and Dragon Knight getting 1 CS out of the first wave, maybe actually letting the block go a little bit, it looks like. Let's see how many he gets under the tower. Ying's going to try and slap him up a little bit. And alright, nobody's getting any CS on this mid lane. What's happening up top? A couple of sticky stacks coming in, but no real kill potential here early on. Faith Beyond, though, is just getting chunked down. Caught by the Paralyzing Casket, looks like. Still pretty shoddy CS situation on the mid lane. Maybe manning up a bit, able to slow down the DK, getting some damage. We've got a chase up top. Chalice in trouble, gets into the trees, able to get the salve off, but looks like he's just straight up dead. Just gonna get right clicked down.
Last of my kind was first.
Easy kill there for EHOME. I don't even know what happened. Did he get stuck in the trees after a Firefly, or? Oh man, sizing up Faith Beyond. He's got the reflection. They're going to slow him down. They still have the paralyzing cast. Meanwhile, the Prophet's dead up top, but we're focused down bottom. It's still only level 1 on this Terrorblade. Faith Beyond's actually going in, and one more punch might do it. Ame running for dear life. Is he fast enough? He's got the move speed advantage over the Tiny. He's now forced to juke his way over into the trees. Couple more punches. He does have a TP, but thinking that he might still be able to fight this out, and now Innocence arrives. Xnova's actually the one in trouble. They've got another avalanche. A few more hits should do it. There's the reflection. Xnova turns around, drops one more auto attack onto the Tiny. Still staying alive.
Too bad.
Oh, man. And the Prophet, I believe, did just die up top. Yeah, looks like he got run down by the Batrider and the Naga Siren. Illusion Rune picked up for our Dragon Knight. What's FY doing? He's TPing down bot. Okay. Gonna be joining this bottom lane. Innocence, what's he up to? Trying for this pull. Is this gonna be possible? No. Doesn't get the side pull. Metamorphosis gets popped. They want Faith Beyond. They get the big wraparound from Xnova as well. There's the net. Faith Beyond locked down. The Sprout opening up a little bit of space. He picks up the tree, gets a couple of wall-ups off, but Xnova still gets brought down by the Fade Bolt. Nice turnaround. Ends up being a 1-for-1. Still very nice for LGD, but that does drag a bunch of heroes away from this top lane. So Chalice is actually going to be able to start getting a little bit more farm up. Jug does have his spin available. 7 stacks. Needs to dispel this pretty soon, but does actually just... Chalice lets him get in range. Takes pretty much full damage off of that spin. He is going to have to be careful now, but 17 wand charges in reserve. Still more action down bottom. Terrorblade dead yet again. Rubik in trouble. A couple more right clicks from Xnova, and FY should do it. He's got stick charges, but it's not going to be enough. Xnova, 2-second cooldown on the paralyzing cast, but looks like FY is fine. He's very tanky on the Naga. Already has his wand and a stat shield picked up. So just another 1-for-1 down bottom, though this time around favoring EHOME. Mid lane CS in favor of the Dragon Knight. Maybe starting to pick up a little bit of momentum, but it's taking a while. And Ame actually seemingly done with the bottom lane for now. Wants to come and take out the top lane. Spinning forward aggressively, not really doing anything. Alright, Chalice just gonna change SYM back to mid, but Prophet is threatening the TP. Nobody's really in lanes at the moment. Lots of heroes running through the jungle. FY and Xnova running over towards mid. Potentially 4 heroes there for LGD in a second. Jug and the Terrorblade trading blows. Can they actually kill this Dragon Knight? He is quite tanky. Oh, no points in the Maldic just yet. Actually TPing up behind the TB. Looking for it. Gonna lift him back. They've also got the Sprout to lock him in. Good damage with the spin, and the Fade Bolt is more than enough. TB way too squishy at this point of the game. Chalice was just completing his big journey all the way down to bottom, but forced to immediately TP in up top. They wanted the Dragon Knight to go down into the river, but DK is playing pretty hard to get. They do pick up a point in the Nether Toxin, so he's not going to be helped out by the Dragon Tail, but they don't keep him pinned inside of it. And LGD pretty much completely botched that gank. Reveal their 2 supports. Faith Beyond knows that he can actually man up a little bit more down here at bottom. And yeah, Xnova and FY going to be sent packing, running past this Radiant Observer Ward as they make their way back to bottom. Rubik, meanwhile, might be a little bit more successful. Dragon Knight has his level 6. Nature's Prophet TP off cooldown, 1 second's time. They are pinging at mid. Could be hoping to find this kill, but Somnus playing very far back, and actually 7 stacks up on this Jug. He's got the wand charges, still hanging on to the spin. Chalice gonna send him all the way underneath the tower. Now they go for it. TP coming in. That first kill. Dragon Knight still fairly tanky. FY able to keep on fighting. Nets up the Nature's Prophet, waiting for this TP to come in from Xnova. They get the Maldic down, and it looks like Innocence should be dead. One more auto attack from Xnova. Looks like it's going to seal the deal here, and Prophet just going to shop up as much as he can before he goes down. So still a nice rotation. Trading away that position for Prophet for mid lane Viper. And EHOME building up a tidy little net worth lead here as they continue to do better across all 3 lanes. Faith Beyond should have more than enough room to rush up his blink. Lane at least didn't take any damage on the tower. Dragon Knight unable to go and make anything else happen there, and Xnova and FY hunting for blood. Just the same rotation once again. This time around might be a little bit more successful, though. They've got the Viper Strike. Chalice also rotating in. It's a 4-man gank, and absolutely nowhere for the Dragon Knight to go. It will be Xnova picking up the kill with that double damage. Circle drawn by the Dragon Knight. He's like, what the hell is going on here? Why are there Why are there 4 freaking heroes in my mid lane? But Jug breathes a sigh of relief. He's not the one getting ganked this time around. The Tiny also alright. Keeps on farming up. Chalice with 1,000 gold already towards his blink. Looks like maybe not going to go for the wand or anything. Innocence just grabbing some farm over in the jungle. Get some points in that Nature's Call. And FY and Xnova still just playing together, being the support duo. They've got some good vision around the mid lane, spotting any rotations towards their Viper. He is quite an immobile hero, so really important to know where these supports are moving so that he can potentially survive any of these rotations or just back off at the appropriate time. And ooh, they're going to spot the fact that Innocence is planting a ward from up here on the high ground. That's a pretty cute play. It's nighttime, so the Ancients don't aggro. If the enemy team already has ward vision around mid, makes it a little bit safer. Am I going to pop the Metamorphosis here? They're looking for the kill on the Jug. He didn't get the spin off in time. He now tries to drop down the Omni Slash, but it's just not enough damage. Looks like the spin will be enough, though. Ends up being a 1-for-1 trade here on the carries, but I think that works out much better for TB. And Innocence also no way to escape, getting completely hemmed in by Xnova and FY. They're not even going to look at him. Chalice and FY know that the kill is secured. They give Xnova the dominating streak. So going to be pretty worth it to try and grab this Witch Doctor. Is he just going to get some arcanes? Yes, he will. I think they should maybe try and spread the kill streak around a little bit more, but not a huge deal.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Viper needs to be careful. He's already fairly low. There is going to be a lift available for the Rubik. Waits until the last possible second. They get all that spin damage in. Xnova trying to TP in with 2 points in the Voodoo Restoration, in fact. A little bit of an unorthodox build, but I guess really feeling that 5-man angle for his team. See if that ends up working out the way that he wants. Terrorblade still under pressure every single lane that he goes to. Ame just can't quite seem to find uninterrupted time to farm, and the Nature's Prophet also kind of hounding him everywhere he goes, though this seems like it's mostly a warding mission for the Prophet. HYM doing well on the Rubik. Has not picked up the point in the null field early on. We've seen a lot of people just 1-point telekinesis start to get the null field, but the cast range does actually get a little bit longer. And Xnova actually going to scout out Innocence up here on the high ground with the sentry. Can they throw Xnova up there? Nope, they're just going to kill him instead. Faith Beyond with the Avatos combo. FY? Well, notice that the Prophet is still up there, but they can't see him anymore. And they get Faith Beyond. They're going to net him up. Chalice also TPing in. Somnus is here. Nice Sprout. Tiny tries for the TP, and he's going to be fine. Batrider couldn't quite get the lasso off. They've now got the sticky napalm. Innocence is going to be revealed up there on the cliff, wishing that he brought a TP scroll with him. They used the secondary sentry ward as well, just to ensure the vision for that kill. Well, Jug takes it as an opportunity to maintain that #1 spot in terms of last hits. Dragon Knight going to go and get some damage on the top tier 1 tower in the interim, so EHOME still really playing the early game angle of their lineup really nicely, securing these early towers. It's going to be very nice to have this map control up here on the top side, especially if they don't lose the bottom tier 1. If they have this for a few minutes to be able to farm with the Jug or the DK, while they're not giving up any farm over in the Radiant jungle. Oh, Avatos combo into FY is still pretty tanky. He's got some illusions in the area. Rubik, what's he stolen? It is just the reflection. FY dropping low, but not low enough. And he's going to get sundered up by Ame, who actually gets stunned immediately by the Dragon Tail. Ame just going to be brought down, trying a little bit too hard to save his team. And now FY is in trouble. Avalanche catches onto 2. Faith Beyond's too tanky to be brought down by the Maldic. Chalice doing the best that he can with the sticky napalm to kite away from this fight, but Witch Doctor looks like he'll also be brought down. Xnova with the stick charges, still surviving. Might actually end up living through all of this. The Omni Slash drops into Chalice as he tries to TP out. He's dead. FY caught by the Avalanche. Faith Beyond takes a second to pick up a tree. So they should be able to spin him down here. Nice toss in. FY finished off. Overall trade ends up being a 3-for-1. Just what? Just Rubik dying for the Terrorblade, the Naga, and the Batrider. Definitely not a good look for LGD. I don't know quite why they're fighting so actively into EHOME. Like, all 3 of EHOME's cores are amazing at fighting at this point in the game. They've got, maxed out Breathe Fire, maxed out Spin, pretty much maxed out Avatos. The spell damage is really high. The Terrorblade is super far behind. The Batrider does have his blink now, so I guess that's a big part of the rotation, but I do need to just get some time to pick up another couple of items across the board. Viper going to be going for the Dominator. Quite a common build that we've been seeing recently. Innocence is going to be trying for a 4-staff. Definitely nice to have. Pretty good to have against the net. Solid item in general. Not that many single target disables this game that it can kind of help out against. You're not playing against Lion or anything like that, but still good. Oop, Faith Beyond wants this free pickoff with the Blink. FY baiting a little bit. Chalice actually has the Blink Lasso ready to go, but it's a bit too late. FY is already dead. Gonna try and drag them over towards the Viper. Xnova also here. He's trapped inside the Nether Toxin. Gonna try for the TP out, and he might just be successful. Ticks down just inside the fountain. Maledict a little bit too much damage, and Ame threatening the Jug, but he might just be able to run this one off. Nature's Prophet also coming in with the Sprout assist. Open up some space. HYM also up here. Do also have a ward in the area. Alright, so with DK dead, maybe he's going to be able to push in on this mid lane a little bit, but EHOME also threatening the top tier 2 tower. FY forced to come in here and defend, but the Treants stick to their guns. Faith Beyond, not the first one to TP in there, unfortunately, so we'll actually just end up canceling his TP at the end of the day. Keep on farming up down bottom. Pretty successful on the Blink Dagger reveal. Jug, not going to be going for the Battle Fury this game, is instead opting for a Silver Edge. A decent Shadowblade game, I suppose. You know, find some kills in the Witch Doctor. And Faith Beyond just jumping in again on Xnova. Don't even know if they needed the help from the Nature's Prophet there. So this is the part of the game where Tiny is just solo killing everybody. And looks like this tier 1 tower is also going to be collateral. LGD struggling to find these rotations. They did get that earlier pick off on the Dragon Knight, which was nice. He's actually picked up a hood on DK this game, so his damage potential is going to be a little bit weak. I do actually wonder if EHOME might start running into damage problems a little bit later into the game. Viper's tanking up, he's going for an S&Y, the TV's going to tank up, though for now not doing all that great. They're just looking to use this next lasso.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, tier 1 tower very suspiciously falls completely undefended down bot, which does give a little bit of a clue as to what LGD are up to. Just a bunch of illusions going to swarm the mid lane. EHOME looking for the wraparound, but there's a wraparound on this wraparound. Xnova maybe in Chalice coming in. Can they isolate somebody with the lasso? That's going to be a bit of a problem. Rubik does have this lift. He's hovering near his core as HYM, kind of anticipating this perhaps. I don't know if he's come into vision just yet. Maybe just getting caught by the creep. Chalice wants it. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He sees the Rubik and realizes that probably can't go. No, the Dragon Knight just a bit isolated. Rubik walking back. They drag the DK up onto the high ground. He's still pretty tanky. He does have that hood, and now the song comes in to counter-initiate. Can they keep maybe alive? Looks like they should be able to. There's 4 heroes songed, but this is just a full-on retreat from LGD. Xnova running the opposite direction. Might actually be able to get a TP out here. Oh, no, probably not. DK TPing in to close the gap. Avatar, well, not even Avatar. Ava and toss the tree. And LGD just forced to disengage, but they used lasso and they used song for that.
Radiant's bottom tower is
EHOME,
under attack.
I mean, Dragon Knight ultimate gonna wear off, so probably back to farm stations for them for at least a second. But Jug's just farming the Dire jungle. This vision that the Nature's Prophet has been able to plant down has been great. And like I said earlier, the fact that this bottom tier 1 tower still isn't taken means that LGD can't really use this Radiant jungle in the same way, even though they have similar warding. You know, you look at the vision situation from both teams, it's actually pretty comparable, but just being unable to take this tier 1 has kind of slowed them down, and Terrorblade still struggling to really find that momentum in terms of farm. Even going to be popping a Metamorphosis here just to clear an Ancient stack. FY just going for a Meteor Hammer. Gives them a little bit more combo potential with the Naga ultimate. Faith Beyond. Oh, I saw the HP bar dropping. I just couldn't even click on Xnova in time. And now Innocence is dead on the bottom side. Oh boy. Pickoffs just everywhere. What even happened there? Just got run down. It wasn't even a lasso or anything.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
yeah, EHOME completely taking control over this dire jungle. They definitely want this tier 2 tower. Another dragon form popped. Maybe we'll be able to finish off the bottom tier 1. A little bit of help from his stolen catapult, which is nice.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
TB is just going for S and Y,
Dire's top tower has fallen.
which is a little bit interesting. I've actually seen quite a few players buying this item on Terrorblade recently. I guess there is probably just enough clear for the illusions that maybe the Manta isn't ridiculously valuable, but I think the split push potential is still pretty good. Oh, Innocence. Trying to TP in for this ward, gets spotted, didn't bring a TP scroll, and he's just dead, and now he's gonna get dewarded as well. It's a little bit weird. I mean, would have been it'll be worth it if the observer ward sticks around, but that seems unlikely. Next Nova farming up top. Had an amazing start on the Witch Doctor with a dominating streak, but now he's relegated to last on the net worth, as things should be. Tiny just going for Echo Saber. Haven't seen a kill out of Faith Beyond for a little bit. I'm just kind of biding their time. Jug has switched back to the Battle Fury, deciding against the Shadow Blade. It's so cool that we get to see players quick buys now. For the longest time, we didn't have that. It was very interesting to get some insight into what the players are thinking about. Like, oh, Terrorblade's just straight up queued up a butterfly. It's like, well, there's a bunch of right-clickers on the enemy team. What's the best way for me to survive? I guess butterfly. It's also really high damage. X-Nova getting caught out. HYM, is he going to steal this kill? No, no opportunity. Faith Beyond with the Echo Saber just whomps him. I'm still controlling the map. Sort of nurturing this little net worth lead that they've got going. Haven't seen an Omni Slash used for a little bit. Jug content to just be farming all the while. Dragon Knight. Blink up. Very defensive build.
Radiant's bottom tower
Going for the
attack.
BKB next. Feeling like his team has enough damage at this point. And Tiny will be the one to instead go for the Shadow Blade. FY looking like he might break this smoke. Ooh, is he gonna get caught? There is an Observer Ward over here. Can they get a lasso? No, unfortunately Chalice blinks straight into the Avatos combo. And he's also just gonna get Dragon-tailed and brought down. FY survives a tiny bit longer. But Faith Beyond, I think even if they'd gotten the lasso on him, it's not gonna last that long with the status resistance. Maybe they, I guess maybe they managed to drag him up onto the high ground. You can see the thought, but EHOME, 2 quick kills and straight into the pit. Like more than enough damage and more than enough time to be able to bring this down. A couple of Terrorblade illusions threatening down bottom, but that's about it. Oh, toss in on the Rubik, he gets the lift back. Faith Beyond now with the Echo Saber hit as well. DK follows up that lockdown, and Viper doesn't even get a single opportunity to cast a spell, but there's an immediate buyback. They're dragging the Juggernaut into enemy lines, but he does have an Omni Slash. That's going to buy him a few seconds. The reflection damage is waiting for him once he pops back out. They've also got the death where they bring him down. Dragon Knight now trying to escape, but FY senses blood in the water. He pops to sleep. He wants to catch as many heroes as he possibly can. It would be great if they could get Faith Beyond. But no, there's a Blink Dagger out from the Dragon Knight. Faith Beyond goes back in, Avatos combo, focusing on the Witch Doctor. One more right click. He's beyond godlike, reading this fight beautifully. But maybe they bit off a little bit more than they can chew. Dragon Knight does finish that 1 kill, but Ame is still standing strong in the midst of all of this. A few more auto attacks to bring down the Dragon Knight. Rubik trying to escape, but Chalice still hot on pursuit. Though, looks like LGD, they might not only get those kills as a prize. Also gonna go in, find a 1/3 HP Roshan. And just enough Metamorphosis Curation here to chunk this down a little bit more. Oh man, big swing. This is gonna try and slow them down. Buyback from the Tiny. They're gonna commit somewhat for this Roshan. Nope. Reflection stolen. I'm not gonna be able to give away the. I'm not gonna give away the Sunder. And who will get this in the end? EHOME still a couple of heroes down. Jug has respawned. It looks like that might be the end of it unless Chalice can try for a snatch. He's scouting a little bit with the sticky napalm. Needs to be careful of the Rubik with the lift. He's gonna jump in. Did he get it? No. Didn't get the last hit. Didn't get the Aegis. Jug manages to secure it. And EHOME, in the end, it puts a little dent in their net worth lead, especially buying back on the Tiny. But all's well that ends well for them, I think. They forced the buyback out of the Viper, so he's pretty sad. Not even gonna finish the S and Y, it looks like. Just unless it's on the courier. Nope, just like, ah, screw it, I just need BKB. so badly. I'm just being chain stunned. Please help me.
Dire's middle tower.
And looks
has
like LGD
fallen.
may be switching to split push tactics for a little bit, but gonna be hard against the Nature's Prophet. Pretty effective at keeping these lanes pushed out. FY does have his Meteor Hammer now, so he's fairly quick at pushing lanes. It'll be interesting to see what item the Jug goes for next. Blink, pretty popular, might finish the S and Y. I think there's quite a bit of incentive to get a Manta
Radiant's
this
top
game,
tower
so
is
let's
under
see that as
attack.
the selection. Terrorblade still just on this butterfly warpath. Muscati, no BKB. Maybe he gets a BKB a little bit later on, just feels like his team needs the damage. They are hoping that somebody is going to pop out down here at bottom, but seems unlikely. I think they're just hoping that the Nature's Prophet might make an appearance. 3-man smoke. Make sure that it's not warded. They don't really see anything over in the Radiant jungle. That's probably where they're looking to establish some wards, if they have any left. There's one on X Nova. I see the Jug up top. Hoping that somebody's going to be farming the Radiant jungle, but it's actually being already completely farmed out. Now respawns, and this tier 1 tower is still up at mid before I get a Meteor Hammer it from the trees. Alright. See if they can backdoor this. There's going to be a glyph coming in. Tiny coming over to check out what the situation is, and X Nova and FY might be in some trouble. Faith Beyond, the backup, is just a little bit too far away for him, though. He will chicken out somewhat. LGD really just hoping somebody's going to come down to bottom to shove this out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
EHOME
attack.
seemingly not having any of it. They'll take the Dire jungle. Tell LGD you guys can have the Radiant jungle. That butterfly is almost up on the TB. Ame doing a good job of keeping his farm going even in a fairly rough situation. HYM has grabbed an Aether Lens and maybe really forcing the issue down here at bottom. Chipping away at the tier 2. Jug with 4.7k gold needs to make an item decision somewhat soon. Oh. Terrorblade in trouble. Tossed back. Does manage to get the Sunder off. Nicely done. Reflection also slowing down Faith Beyond. He's actually a little bit, though, not really in fighting shape. And now they get the lasso over onto the Rubik. Not the perfect target, but no real way for EHOME to be able to fight. They have actually caught out the... Oh, they caught out the Viper. Maybe trying to take a bit of an awkward angle into the fight. He does actually get jumped. Rubik finally goes down now. FY looking for the setup, but there's a spin, a blink, and another blink. So Meteor Hammer not really going to be all that useful. And with that, FY will just call it quits. He's actually not going to get the opportunity. Gets the Dragon Tail up in his face. Tiny trying to split the cask somewhat. DK actually forced to pop the BKB just to try and pursue this kill. They toss in the Juggernaut. They don't even have a creep wave here. But looks like backdoor protection is maybe disabled anyway. Or is it? Nice 2-man stomp, and now the cask bouncing in. Death Ward doing some damage to the Dragon Knight. They've also managed to kill Innocence down at bottom as the tier 2 falls. Ame does not have his... Well, he's popped his Metamorphosis already. And now he's just making a beeline over towards mid. Without the supporting cast, this is actually a pretty dangerous situation for EHOME. They blink away. Jug's still sitting on this mountain of net worth that he hasn't spent yet. This 5.2k gold is not making you stronger in a fight, Jug. Oh, toss back. Can Bat get the blink off? Looks like you should be able to. They've netted up the Jug. They're just going to right-click him down. That's the Aegis gone. Batrider trying to escape. Looks like HYM should be able to finish him off. That stolen reflection. One last auto attack, and now they come in. But they get the Sunder off. Ame still surviving. The Juggernaut ultimate is not enough. FY now turning his attention once again over to the Jug. They've got the net. They keep him locked down. Faith Beyond unable to get off the blink. He's now also being earned up. Just going to try and escape with the Shadow Blade. HYM runs off, and oh man, that Sunder was so big, and EHOME, they just need, just buy an item, Jug, just make a decision, please. This 5k net worth lead doesn't mean anything if you're not spending your gold.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, there's actually quite a lot of gold that people are sitting on in this game, but Jug is by far the worst offender. And like, if he just had another item, maybe that Omni Slash, you know, maybe it kills the Terrorblade. Well, they do lose X Nova. Dragonite catching at FY. He does have the song. Is there anything to cancel this TP? No.
Radiant's middle tower
Knows that he's in the clear. Knows that X-Nova just got Avatos comboed up on the high ground. So nothing left for the Tiny to cancel there. Ame back to farm stations, working his way towards the Scotty. Now claiming the #1 spot on net worth. Did he get... What kills did he get in that last fight? So he killed pretty much everybody. Killed the bottom tower. He killed Innocents. He's just been farming up a storm. Maybe he's still just working on this BKB, but he's getting quite close. Alright, Jug just buys Manta. Got Heaven's Halberd up for the Nature's Prophet. Going to be going for a Hex shortly after that. I think realizing the threat of this Terrorblade at this point of the game. DK going to be trying for a Monkey King bar. Yeah, the sustained damage output is just seemingly not quite enough against the Terrorblade. They're going to catch out the Nature's Prophet one more time. He tries somewhat optimistically for the TP out, but he is long dead. And LGD still flexing. I really feel like Jug has yeah, EHOME seemed to have wasted a pretty big opportunity this game. They had that lead, they had the Aegis, and then just couldn't quite take the right fight. Now the bottom Rax is getting pushed in by a Meteor Hammer. Nobody is coming down to address FY, so I think he's more than happy to just sit down here and keep threatening. They've actually managed to find the Juggernaut once again with the lasso, right-click him down. Faith Beyond now caught. HYM, can he do anything to save him? I don't think so. He's caught in the Nether Toxin. He does manage to get the Shadow Blade off, but he's dusted up. Maybe he's going to chase him down. X-Nova, Chalice looking for more. They get the Yules up on the Rubik. He does have a Ghost Scepter, and FY pauses the game. CHYM. Yeah, he's very dead. Just accepts his fate. Hands off the keyboard. Down bottom, FY has caught out the Dragonite, threatening him. Gonna try and force out the BKB. He doesn't use it, but he may regret that. Ame's here, in position with the meta. Right-clicks him down, and that's all 3 cores dead. Nature's Prophet doing the best that he can to split push over a top, but this is a full Metamorphosis Terrorblade. Hitting your base, there's no glyph, and LGD looks like they're just gonna be the first ones to claim a lane of Rax. They were behind for such a long time this game. The graph isn't even updating to show that they're now ahead. And LGD are just gunning for it. EHOME not even willing to use any of their buybacks. They're going to Meteor Hammer out of the tier 4s. The buybacks now coming in. They've drummed the Terrorblade. It makes quick work to the first tier 4. He's still got a third of the Metamorphosis left. EHOME, what are they going to do? FY survives the Avatos combo. They're focusing onto him. Can they actually burst him down? I don't know if they can. They force staff him a little bit further away. X-Nova's keeping him alive with the heal, and the Terrorblade is still just shredding everybody. Dragonite goes down. He's still got a couple of seconds. The Ancient is exposed, and the good game is called. LGD. Oh my word. How did they win this game? How did this happen? EHOME, like, they dove the base a little bit. They just couldn't quite seem to decide, oh, do we commit to this fight? Do we not commit to this fight? What are we doing? Our supports are dead. We don't seem to have the lockdown. X-Nova just running circles around them with the paralyzing cask. They didn't have the damage to kill the Terrorblade, and LGD, masters of finding that one opportunity to just completely win the game. They got that one lasso on the Jug. EHOME didn't back off into their fountain. They didn't like wait. The DK dies bottom. They're like, oh wait, shit, all of our cores are dead. Now what? And LGD win in spectacular. Look at these graphs. They win in spectacular fashion. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are 10k ahead. Whatever. Game's over. Terrorblade's got Butterfly. Ame is huge. Good luck. So that's gonna wrap it up for game 1. Oh my word. Is this the right button? Is this gonna show me? Yeah. All right. Nice. Look at that. I mean, the Terrorblade didn't even do that much more damage than the other cores. Chalice had a great game. I mean, he jumped into that Faith Beyond Tiny Avatos combo and died pretty quickly, but the Tiny just fell off a cliff. He got a couple of those initial pickoffs, but then after that, whenever he committed into a fight, he was getting earned, he was getting reflection, just couldn't find that opportunity to disengage and come back in with another combo. I would guess that the next lobby is probably already up, so we're going to cut to a break, guys. Stay with me. It's StarLadder iLeague Invitational Season 5 China Qualifiers, EHOME versus LGD, Game 2 coming up next.